goes.
Yeah. Thank you guys for taking time out of your morning to coach us.
Good morning. Well, we're going to hold off until we get to 100. So what's to be silent until 100 attendees start showing up. Send out a text to everyone you know that's not on the call and say, get on the call, because we're not starting until they get here. No, we're going to get started regardless. I didn't, let's see here. All right. All right. So this morning, I wanted to kind of start off with something a little bit different. I don't have a bunch of material to share with you guys. I don't have a contract in front of me to show you how to write a contract or how to write a listing. This is a coach and direction call on your production and your growth of you. Every one of us on this call right now, we know how to write a contract. We know how to write a listing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about personal growth at the beginning, and then we're going to put that into the business side of it. And I'm going to share my screen, and I won't mess that up because I'm pretty good at that, Curtis, sharing my screen. I share lots of screens. I just don't know which one I'm sharing. So, all right, Tiffany. All right, so here we go. So I was sharing this off with Curtis, Debbie, and DJ. Can you guys see that? Earlier this week. And I was in a conversation with a top producer who said, Tom, production means nothing without growth personally. And I said, what do you mean by that? She said, Tom, I'm hiring a growth coach, a personal development coach. I said, that is fantastic. And you're going to keep your regular? Yes, I'm going to keep my regular coach. She goes, I've been coaching on growing a business, but I haven't had a coach for personal growth and development. And I feel like I'm going through this back and forth thing that it's all about production, and I'm forgetting the purpose of why that production is important. So I want to read something from you. Does anybody know where this may have came from? Does anybody on the call may know where this, Deb, where did this page come from, do you think?
My guess is, since it says millionaire real estate agent, it's probably millionaire real estate agent.
You are awesome. You are so observant.
There's it right there at the top, Tom.
I know that. I know it's there. But are people looking at it, right? It's there. All right. So work harder on yourself than your job. Okay. So this is what we're going to kind of branch off and talk about today, is working harder on yourself than your job. And I always kind of bring this back to people and say, hey, if you don't take care of yourself, how do you take care of others? Why do you work day and night 24/7? Well, I'm looking to provide. Well, what if you die? You know, there's always that thing where people need to be brought back into reality because nobody is helping them understand or see that. So how do you reach your full potential in anything? You got to grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and internally. So when you get down to it, your millionaire real estate agent business will ultimately be a reflection of you. It is a reflection of you. How you show up in an appointment, how you show up every day, how you show up is an impression of you. If it's to change, improve, and grow, you will have to do. You will have to. In fact, your growth will actually come before the growth of your business. You will grow before your business grows. It's like the business is that lagging effect. You know, it comes with the growth that you have. Your ability and willingness to work on yourself will in large part determine how far you and your business go. I don't know about you, but if I'm going on an appointment to a buyer or a seller, or going to a gala, am I at my best dress? And do I have my hair done? Do I have did I shower? Did I shave? Did it, you know, and for the females, did they want to look the prettiest they could? Did they have their hair done, their makeup done? And when you get all that done, how does that feel? How does that make you feel? You walk in that room and you feel like people are looking at you as, wow, look at her, look at him, right? So why aren't we treating ourselves daily that way to achieve the goals that we're looking to achieve? The high achievers we've worked with and interviewed dedicated significant money and time towards personal development. In fact, for many, personal development being their best is their big why. We talk about a big why. We talk about being your best. We talk about personal development. You know, but what we don't do is we don't really get into you as often as we probably should. And maybe you don't dig into growing yourself as much as you should, because everything worthwhile, John Maxwell says, everything worthwhile is what? Uphill. By the way, now that we got more people on the call, I just want to stop for a quick second and say, veterans, thank you for your service. It is Veterans Day, and we wouldn't have what we have today without you. And I appreciate our freedom and everything that you guys have done for us. I was not blessed enough to serve our country, but I am blessed to be around those who do. So thank you guys for your service. All right, Curtis, I seen that photo of you, carrying your gun. I'm like, holy cow, look at him. So I want you to think about 3 things you must do to achieve your personal growth and your business growth. And I want you to just think about that for a second. What are the 3 things you must do to achieve your personal goal and your physical goal? See, we know every year, January 1st, we're all doing the same thing. We're making what? New Year's what? What do we do on New Year's Day? We make a New Year's what?
Resolution.
We're already behind it because most of us are hungover because we partied the night before, so it doesn't start till the 2nd or the 3rd, right? So we make this New Year's resolution and we don't even stick by it on the first day. And why do New Year's resolutions get broken within the first week?
There's no plan.
Okay, so there's no plan. What else?
I think
Go
sometimes.
back to
it's
old
being
habits.
enough.
The habit. Somebody mentioned habit. What else?
Go back to old habits.
We go back to the old habits. Why? Because it's easy,
Yes, familiar.
familiar. What else? What are the other reasons why we
We don't believe we can do
see,
it.
we don't believe we can do it, or others don't believe we can do it, so we believe them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to think about something. When you're making your New Year's resolution and you know the things that you need to do, it's easy to go back to the old habits, right? How do we continuously work on our mindset to fulfill those habits? Well, it comes with self-development, right? The self-development is the most critical component in order for you to grow. 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, I made a commitment to stop drinking alcohol. 100%. For a year, I was drinking non-alcohol beers when I would go to happy hours and out with clients and stuff like that. Well, then I started drinking my beer again. I love beer. What was happening was I was not reaching my full potential of my health and my business and what I wanted to achieve in my personal development and my business. When I gave up that one habit, people would say to me all the time, hey, I haven't seen you at the happy hour. Where do you go? I go to the gym. Well, that's boring. Well, I look at them today and I go, holy cow, they aged quite a bit with a big old belly on them. And I got the total opposite, other than the gray hair. But so it's about doing the work, making the commitment. In fact, your growth will actually come before the growth of your business. So when I started to grow in my personal life and made a commitment, I'm just going to say it was not easy. It was tough. But one change, one habit, one commitment created a lot of blessings. Okay. So you have to put you first. And people always say, I put my family first. Well, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're putting you first in the grade because you're not putting them first. You are going to, I mean, how many times do we hear about heart attacks, obesity, poor addictions, whatever it may be? Take care of yourself and your business will grow. So the three things you know you must do to achieve your personal goal, your business goal, and you write those things down. Why are we not doing it? So what's stopping you? And I heard a lot of that today on the call, and then we're going to dig into this. If you could commit to it and stick with it, would you? And then I want you to add to the would you, who can help me be accountable to that? So on a call yesterday with one of the highly successful agents in person, and I don't know if he's on the call. I'm not going to call him out. I won't do that. But we had a call yesterday, and he is absolutely struggling. Curtis was kind enough to take a call with him to help guide in that direction to create some balance. Okay, whether he's committed to coaching with Curtis or not, he actually got some clarity. He sent me a message. He said, holy cow, Tom, thank you for that. Because a lot of people will come to me for advice and I'm like, I can't help you in that area. I just can't. It's just not, it's not my expertise to get you there. So I don't want to lead you into a roadblock again, right? So we have to make sure that we got the right people in our life and we're committed to our personal growth. And what does it say here? It says the high achievers we've worked with and interviewed dedicated significant money and time towards personal development. But yet we hold back because of we think money's in the way. Well, if your car breaks down today and you have $0 in the bank account, you will find a way to get that car running. If you talk about finances getting in the way, look at some of the habits that we have. Go through your P&L, go through your daily expenses. You know, instead of going to Starbucks every single day and spending $400 a month in Starbucks, get the pods, get the bag of coffee, whatever, make your own. You are saving $300 to $400 a month. If you're a Starbucks coffee drinker, you know, especially this time of season, you got the pumpkin spice and you got the Christmas drinks and all that. Those suckers are $7 or $8 a piece. And if you get one a day, you're spending some buku bucks. Imagine what you can invest in yourself for $4,000 or $5,000 a year. Is it trainings? I don't know what it is. So if you could, would you, and who would you want to have an accountability with it? Now, you may know what the who, you may not know the actual person, but you know what you're looking for in accountability. Now, do not get a friend for accountability. We let each other off the hook, right? So if you think like see, in order to become a millionaire and a millionaire producer, you got to think like a millionaire. You got to earn like a millionaire. You got to net like a million. You got to net $1 million, receive $1 million. And then at the very top, you got to be able to be at a position to give $1 million. And how do you plan on doing all of that if you don't take care of you first? So when we're looking at our New Year's goals and into 2023, are you putting in your 135 in your business plan? Are you planning it? I heard a plan earlier. Are you planning what's right for your health? Are you planning what's right for your self-development? So if you could do something, if I could do it for you, right? Would that make it easier? Yeah, because everything that we have to fight towards. Debbie said, I said to Debbie at an event, and this is, hopefully Debbie doesn't, she won't get mad. I said, Debbie, you look fantastic. She goes, I lost X amount of pounds and I feel freaking fantastic, or whatever it was. By her feeling that way, don't you think that reflects how she produces every single day, how she gets up every day and moves forward? So, all right, so I want to open this up and dig in. Again, this is not a conversation about how to write a contract. A buyer is mad at me. I don't know how to an objection handling to a seller. You walk into a room with full confidence, with a full appearance of a professionalism, you've won already. 100%. I had someone tell me, oh man, that seller is really tough to deal with. I said, well, look at the way you went into the appointment. You look like you rolled around and you closed for an hour. He got mad at me. Was that the wrong thing to say? I don't know, but I told him. I said, the other reason you didn't get it is you smell like an ashtray. Oh, wow, you're full of compliments today. I said, yeah, I'm helping you. See, honesty hurts. So look in the mirror. What do you despise? If somebody came to you to work with you and had a smell on them, what smell would deter you from them? He said, well, like gasoline or something. I'm like, oh, to me, it's cigarettes. I can't even be around you. I got to stand away. You're giving me a headache. I'm going to start sneezing. How are you taking care of yourself? Now, I'm not condemning you smoking cigarettes or whatever. What I am saying is, how are you showing up? Right? All right. So let's open it up. Ahas, what did you get? Let's talk about it. It's your call. And I created the foundation in there. What resonated there? And how will that help you?
Hey, Tom, just a quick thing. There's scientific study that's called the halo effect with a habit that says if you choose one habit, not all of them, I have 10,000 habits I need to break or create, right? But choosing one, and for you, it was stop drinking, right? Now, the flip side of that is working out. I know you were working out before you stopped drinking. But stopping drinking, what happens is when you create one habit, and you asked me, what happened? You lost all this weight. It has a halo effect, which means when you achieve one habit, one good habit in your life, it actually scientifically proven that it improves all the other habits in your life. When you stop drinking, you eat better. When you eat better, you get more sleep. When you get more sleep, you read more books. When you read more books, you build better relationships. When you build better, like it is scientifically proven that just one habit that you improve actually has a halo effect for the whole rest of your life. Maybe you stop watching as much TV. It trickles out, and we can't really, when you describe that, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. But when we're saying one habit, it's not logical that changing one thing trickles out to everything else. But scientifically, your whole world, you get better in all the other activities in your life when you are successful with just one habit. So that's the benefit of choosing one and getting good at that one, knowing that everything else will be affected by it.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So I love that, because there was a guy I was talking to. He had lost over 100 pounds. And I said to him, how did you do it? He said, man, I had no choice. They told me I was on so many medications, and I went in I had a massive heart attack. I've had some stents put in, he weighed like 350 pounds. And he said, I had no choice. And I said, well, what was it that really kind of opened your eyes? He goes, I looked at my kids and my family, and I was like, I'm hurting them by being the way I am. So I changed one thing, and I said, I'm going to walk a half a mile every day. Now he runs marathons, and now he's lost well over 100 pounds. And his business exploded. His life has changed. The halo effect. I love that. You know, one thing will change the trajectory of an entire course of your success for emotional, physical, business, everything's affected. How do you expect to lead others if you can't lead yourself? You know, when you're meeting with a buyer or a seller, how are you supposed to tell them you can help them when you feel like you can't even help yourself and you're not confident in that? You need to walk in and own it. You need to walk in with confidence and walk in the room like, look at me. Not arrogance. There's a difference there, right? But when you look good, you feel good, you win. Okay, period. Olivia, how are you, Olivia? Olivia, thank you. Olivia, I met Olivia in Fort Lauderdale during the business planning workshop. She came up to me and she was very vulnerable and said, this is really, and Olivia, did I get on a call? She took off. Okay. Did I get on a call with you and help you with that?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your help.
She took a stand for herself and said, I need additional help. I got lost and we worked together on that. So Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you. I was listening to what you're saying as I was driving, and then I'm now in the office, and I'm thinking about, mindset of a millionaire real estate agent. And like sometimes you have those challenging days in the business. I'm newer, so I'm learning constantly new situations, and sometimes that changes into like a bad day. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep that mindset of a productive, confident, or like you're saying, confident agent, keep that spirit up when you're having maybe a challenging day and something falls through, or just, kind of brings you down for a couple of days. And that feels like the morning I'm kind of having like your mindset isn't in the right place and you're just getting started with your day. So just wanted to hear some tips.
Olivia, that's fantastic. Anybody want to answer that or jump in on that?
I'll jump on that.
Jonathan, and then Krista, we're going to come right back to you up there. I see what you're hand. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Olivia, mindset is 97% of your thinking, right? Seriously. And if you stop and you focus on that 3% of bad stuff that kind of happens, it just happens. It falls through the cracks. It will hit you probably when you least expect it. You just can't focus the 97% of your time on that 3%. You should only focus 3% on that time, and focus the rest of your time on everything else that's amazing in your life. Because thinking about those amazing things, feeling those amazing feelings will bring you out of that 3% of negativity every time. And if you still find that you're having trouble with it, fake it until you make it. Right? Pretend that you're happy, because at some point you're just going to realize, hey, it's way easier than being angry or upset or frustrated or looking at everything in a negative light. If you look at things positively, it's so much nicer. The feeling you have is so much nicer. And that's going to help create your mindset to feel better.
Thank you, Jonathan. You're the most positive person.
Awesome, Jonathan. Thank you, Krista. Good morning. You want to talk about commitment and Krista, your story and everything you do in your business is wow. It's pretty amazing, and you fought through a lot of things.
Well,
and
thank you.
Stayed positive, and you got through it. I'm sure there was days where it was not easy.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to say this call came like at the perfect time as well, because I was at the Tony Robbins event this past weekend in West Palm Beach. And it's a 4-day, it was a 4 days live thing about, what we're talking about today, right? Your focus and your energy and your peak state. And there's so much to dive into that. It was kind of like life changing for me, this event. Exactly, Firewalker. And you know, for Olivia, what you focus on becomes your reality, right? And Tony said you need to have a break. You need, when you're going into those states of despair or sadness or, you know, judging yourself, you need to have kind of like something that breaks that. And it's amazing that if you find, you know, even he was talking to this woman who was crying, going into this rabbit hole of her dad leaving her and all that, and he stopped her from crying and made us all laugh by saying, hey, wait, are you going to like fart right now, and are you gonna, you know, spontaneously combust? So it was like, came out of nowhere, and we all started laughing, and it changed our state, right? So he's all about changing your state, and going into peak state. So when you're going into a listing appointment or when you're going into calls, he's like, you need to prime yourself by doing, you know, your exercises, by talking to yourself. And then that priming, even for him, takes sometimes half an hour before he gets on stage. So he says he does what he tells us to do, which going into peak state, and then your emotion, you find your passion by finding your emotional state. Who do you love? What do you do? What do you hate? And find that emotion, and then bringing resolve into everything you do. So it was an incredible 4 days. I'm committed to personal development. I bought like the 2-year of mastery of personal development that I'm going to be taking for the next 2 years with him because of that one event that I went.
That's awesome, Krista. You know, there was a lady at that event that her and I had this conversation, and that's what brought me to this call today. Her production is fine. Her personal development is where she was really going through and going, if I don't develop a bigger self-development, I'm not going to achieve the long-term goals. Right. And that's what Tony had talked about. That was amazing. Fantastic. Thank you, Krista, for sharing that. And if anybody thinks, oh, Krista's successful because Krista does good business, well, why don't you sit down with Krista and ask her story? You know, moving here not knowing anybody, single mom, going to a divorce, right? Your story was a blessing to us all, Krista, that heard it. So thank you for that. All right, fantastic. Anyone else? Anyone else? The firewalker, right? Curtis, you know, I've never done it. And yet you think you're going to walk on fire and burn the crap out of yourself, but you walk right across it and you're perfectly fine. What happens? What is that?
Hey, Tom, my question is, because many of us did not grow up in environments where personal growth was part of our, you know, no judgment. I had amazing parents. They grew up in the Depression, right? So they had different mindset, right? And I happened to discover a book recommended by a peer in my 20s that made me realize that I could think differently than the way I thought, right? That I could choose to think differently. Because if you've not ever had the experience of personal growth or had the opportunity or had a friend that challenged the way you think, I don't know if I would have discovered personal growth had a friend not recommend a book to me. So my question is, what is personal growth, and how do you like pursue it? Like, how do I know if I need it? And then if I discover that I need it, how do I go forward and make a plan? Like, how do I even start?
You know, that's a great question. And, you know, I can answer for what has worked for me. Then I need to also go to another level, but you know, I'll share it just for me, and then I'm going to open it up. There is reading. You know, getting back to reading has been the number one thing that's really kind of pulled me back and helped me. How to speak to people in the right way, how to hold my tongue sometimes, you know, emotional intelligence, knowing myself, right? Knowing who I am through the DISC and the behavioral assessments. I think the behavioral assessments is I read them often to myself. I read mine often to kind of give me remind me, right? And then what are my triggers? What do I need to be careful of? Because we get those blind spots, and when we get hit, we react. How do we work towards those, right? So I want to open that up. What are some of the things that you do to get self-development? What are you doing, and what would you recommend others to do that's helped you?
Hey, Tom.
I was hoping you'd speak because I was looking right at you. I was going to say, Laura.
Hey, guys. I also went to Tony Robbins, UPW, second time around, and I firewalked this time. I didn't get burned, thankfully, made it. It's really all a mental state thing. But came back super refreshed, super pumped, and ready to like go at the world, because that's what we need to do, change lives one at a time. Talking about the kind of how you, I guess, know that you need to like self-develop, not just yourself, but others. Because at the same time, like you realize what you're missing by helping others, because you see yourself and everybody, you know, like a little bit of piece. Everybody's got a little bit of your own personality in them, right? So, obviously I've been working on myself, and that's another reason why I wanted to go to the Tony Robbins event this year again, because I grabbed new bits and pieces, and you get to see other people's beautiful stories and what they went through, dragged themselves through the gutter, hearing rejection, just like we do in our business now. No, 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 no. And then finally they get that one yes, like a million times asking, and they finally get their yes, you know, but that's what it takes. And sometimes it takes not just us alone, but it takes all of us together to push each other through and develop. It's like this last year, I mean, Tom will attest, I called him basically crying because I missed Icon by $380. And for me, that was a really emotional time. And I work hard. I've got 3 kids. I have my partner, and he always Icon. So like, I always have this, like, I put a lot of stress on myself, and I have to realize, you know what, like, I still kicked ass. It doesn't matter. I did awesome last year. I still did over $10 million in sales. I was a mom. I provided for Steve, you know, and did everything I had to. And yet I'm over here crying and beating myself up for something that I still accomplished a whole lot. And I'm helping other realtors in our office. Love my partner, Brianna, and she's doing amazing. And we just have to take a step back and breathe. Like Tony says, you got to break that pattern, and we have to freaking realize that negativity has got to go. You've got to try to snap yourself out of it, even if you have to like turn around, take 10 small breaths or deep breaths, and then come back. And then you realize, man, you know what? I've accomplished a whole lot more than a lot of people out there, and you just don't give yourself enough credit. So for me, I've committed to basically, like, because you know we have kids and everything, so there's a lot of stress at home as well. But you've got to pull yourself away from that and get yourself in that peak state, as Krista was saying, because that's what Tony Robbins is all about. You're in a peak state. Get yourself motivated. Get up in the morning and turn on that loud music or whatever helps you get your blood flowing and get yourself going in the mornings, because that's what really matters. And the mornings are very important. That's the crucial starting point for your day and for your mentality as well. Get your mind right, and then your whole day will be a whole different day versus you just putting yourself in a negative attitude right from the get-go. Because I was not in a good spot before Tony Robbins. I'm telling you that right now. I was not. I was heading to a spot where I was just like hitting a wall, and I'm like, you know what? Forget this, forget real estate. I'm just gonna do whatever, maybe focus more on being a mom. And I was just not in the right place. I was starting going down a rabbit hole, a dark hole, and I wasn't liking who I was. So that's another reason why I said, you know what, I'm going to Tony Robbins. Even if Steve doesn't go, I'm going. Because normally him and I do everything together. But he was like, I'm not in the mood to go this time because too many events. But I was like, that's it. I need to go for myself, personally develop who I am. And then I had a major breakthrough, you know, and it was amazing. I felt good. I feel good now, and I know what I have to do. And I know a lot of you on here need to know that. And go do you. Focus on you. You guys got this. Finish 2022 strong, and let's all start 2023 the right way, helping each other out. And if anybody on here ever needs anything, please feel free to reach out to me. If you need just like a little pep talk or whatever, reach out to me. Okay, guys? Don't be afraid.
All right, guys, I gotta go now. That's it. I'm done.
What?
Laura, amazing. When you called me, did I let you play victim?
No.
Did I say, and one of the things I said to Laura was, Laura, you're amazing. Now work harder for next year to get it, right? And she's like, oh, they need to change the policies and this and that. And she was going on. And I said, well, Laura, let me ask you a quick question. What would you tell Laura if Laura called you? And she said, I got it, you know, and she had a little bit of a breakdown. But here's the thing. I love Laura and her whole family to death, but I was not going to allow her to victimize herself and go, it's okay. I know this really stinks and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not who I am. And that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to allow you to bury yourself deeper. Right.
No. And I thank you, Tom.
So here's the thing. This is such and by the way, I think it's personally, I go through these ups and downs this time of year and I go, why am I doing what I'm doing? Maybe I'll just go get a job. Why do I do the things I do? You know, the holidays are here. I just blah, blah, blah. And I keep throwing up all these different things, but I got to kind of go backwards and go, where am I what's my part in this? Right? This is the time of year that you need to be the strongest here. The holidays, the emotion of the holidays, the everything that comes in with the holidays will beat you down, So self-development, wow, what an amazing thing. And why do you think a lot of like Tony Robbins and all these, you know, influencers in our life do it near the end of the year and near the beginning of the year to pump you up through the end of the year and to pump you up through the rest of the year, right? It's designed that way. So awesome. Great. Thank you for sharing.
Hey, Tom, the two things for me that help most with my personal growth is reading, just like you, right? But the second thing is accountability. Now, accountability doesn't have to mean hired accountability. You know, Curtis won't let me whine or bitch or play victim. Good news is I won't let him either. And luckily, neither one of us is whining or playing victim simultaneously, usually, right? One of us will get stuck and the other one will say, hello, what's going on, right? So having someone in your life, now he happens to be a really good friend, but because we both studied personal growth, he won't let me live in victimhood. He just won't. He'll call me out on it, right? Usually a good friend is someone, but I think it's our coaching skills, right? We've just coached for so long that we also can jump into coach mode if the other person is playing small or playing victim. So having someone, until I don't think I ever can do my personal growth journey alone. I need someone else outside of me to see when I get stuck, I'm inside a box and you can't read a label from inside the box. So when I'm stuck, I'm inside a box, but I can't see I'm inside the box because I'm inside the box. So you need someone that's external to you that has perspective, that understands what playing a victim looks like, and then the right questions to ask, what playing small looks like, and then the right questions to ask, and that is willing to challenge you because they're not concerned about whether you like them or not, right? They're willing to say, does playing a victim help your children? No, it does not, right? When they see you playing a victim, is that the message you want to send? No, right? But we need someone that cares about us enough that has the skill to help challenge the way we're thinking or the way we're being right now. So the two things for me is reading, but then also having an accountability person that helps me when I get stuck. For most of my life, it's been a coach. No matter if they're coaching me on my business or what they're coaching me on, they also have the skill to recognize when I'm in a lack mindset or a scarcity mindset that then affects me growing my business or achieving whatever goals I've set out. So books and people are what have helped me stay on the growth mindset road.
Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. You know, when we look at preparation, right? Athletes, they go to practice, right? We only see them in their performance of the game. We don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, right? For preparation. We don't know what the coach is doing to prepare them. We don't see all that stuff. We see the performance, right? We see the result at the end of the game, which is the score. You know, we only see that part, right? So when you're preparing yourself, we don't see all that. We see the results, right? And the results are so rewarding when someone says, holy cow, yes, I'm hiring you. You're at the top of your game. Holy cow, you look fantastic. You know, what have you done through this transformation? There's something different about you. Holy cow, look at that, right? So nobody sees the work involved. Nobody sees the preparation. No one sees that. They only see the result. And when you look in that mirror and you go and you look in that mirror and you go, am I happy with the results that I have today? You know, am I going to crush it today? What do I need to work on today? Because if you go into that day with depression, poor mindset, blah, 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 why even go into the world and depress someone else? Don't pull others down because you can't pick yourself up. Find someone that can pick you up and move forward. You know, when I hear the victim mentality outside, when I'm on, I'll hang up and say, I got disconnected. If I have to. I just can't do that. No, if you call me and I hang up, I trust me, it was probably a drop call. No. So there's I'm not going to play it, but there's a great video that I've played numerous times over and over and over on our calls. And I just want to, it's called the death crawl. Okay. See a lot of clapping right now. There's, if you have never seen it, YouTube, the death crawl, it's 6 minutes. It will tear you up. I've seen it hundreds of times and I've teared up every time I've watched it because I thought of something different every single time. And the coach is preparing these young men for this football game with this massive, talented team. So the lead player says, coach, we'll never beat them. He had a limited belief. So the coach did an exercise with him and he had a massive breakthrough, which helped the teammates have a massive breakthrough and they won the game. And by the way, if you ever watched the movie Facing the Giants, that's the movie, Facing the Giants. We are facing giants out there. Are we preparing for that? And if we are we preparing at the highest level with the right coach and the right team? Because I will tell you, I don't care how talented a team is, they can self-destruct if they don't have the right mindset, right? Talent is only reaching its potential when it has the right people and the right coaches, right? And that's proven. Look in any professional sport. Every athlete makes it to the NFL, NBA, or major leagues because they're highly talented. If they're on a massive losing streak, it's not because they're not talented players. It's because they got poor coaching and poor commitment to the game, probably, or themselves to be prepared for that game, right? So I don't blame the players. I blame the coaching and the staffing for not doing what they need to do to get them to their best, right? So are you doing your best every day? Are you doing your best? I personally am not doing my best every day. I'm mediocre at best some days. Some days I'm like at the top of my game, and no matter who I talk to is going to get, you know, they're on my side, even if they don't even know it. And I never met them, because I'm pulling them in because I have that energy and I got everything going and I feel so confident. And if not, I don't worry about it. Do what you can do to better yourself, and then what you do to better yourself will better your business. Sneezy. It's that season. Fantastic. All right. So I know today's call was more on the self-development mindset, but there's only the reason I love this topic for this time of year is the holiday blues. So many people are going on vacation. Great. Take the time off. But I will tell you, people buy and sell during this time. Go get your fair share. And if you work harder right now, you're going to get the market share that the seasoned agents are loosening up on right now. Shift your mindset, you know, clarity is power. And that's the word that I use every single day. Clarity is power. How clear am I on my goals for today? And how are my habits been affected? Did I get enough sleep? Did I eat right? You know, did I talk to the right people today? Who's gotten in the way of my success? It's me. That's me. No one else. All right. Open it up again. Guys, I do too much talking sometimes. I love hearing others. Silence is golden. I know there's a
So,
lot
Tom,
of
I'm
people.
going to say one more thing, I guess. Silence is golden.
You can say 10 more things, Krista. We love hearing from
Thanks. No, I granted for Tony Robbins, I bought the tickets at Build as we were there together. And so I went because I had the tickets. It wasn't like I was thinking I needed it, because I come from a culture, a Latin culture, where personal development wasn't really something, like Debbie said, something that was talked about, or going to therapy was something that was okay. As in today's environment, it's okay. So for me, my first day was like, okay, what am I kind of doing here? I was going through the motions the first half of the day. And then now I'm like, I needed this all my life. My daughter, who's 21, went with me, which was very powerful to do that together. And I was telling her, after the 5th day, like, this is a gift. When you're 21 and she's had a lot to deal with in her young life, I said, hopefully it won't take you 30 years like it took me to start deciding to do personal development. So it was very powerful to see a young person go through the breakthroughs and the limit and changing her mindset of limiting beliefs and all that, when it's taken me 30 years to get there. So, don't wait. For me, books now, I understand what books are about. I have all of Tony Robbins' books, but I never read them. They were there. So now I think, yes, it is something that you need to put in your life and prioritize for yourself. Hope that makes sense.
It absolutely does. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. All right. Anyone else?
Hi, this is Evelyn. I just wanted to share really quickly. When I find those mornings when I'm struggling, I jump on here because this is part of my morning mindset. I mean, it really does help keep me in the right frame of mind. And that's actually why I joined DXP. So before I joined, I listened into like a week and I was like, that's it, I'm in. And this was really critical for me joining EXP.
I love that. You know what? Here's the thing, Evelyn. Thanks for saying that. Whether you get a golden nugget or not, you got a lot of positivity going on, right? So why not start your day that way versus what's in the real world out there, right? If we can make a difference in our day, just our day, we're making a difference in a lot of others people's day as well, which is a domino effect. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Coach Curtis, you've been quiet. Stay quiet to the end. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Sorry, I was driving. The other thing is too, the people that you surround yourself with. So that's part of why I come in the mornings also, because this group is a very positive, And no matter what you're feeling, by the time you jump off, you are like in a positive mindset, ready to tackle the day. And to the young lady who said that she was new and going through some stuff, we all do. No matter how long you've been in the industry, I find that I'm always learning. And now the way I look at those things is after the deal is done, it's like, what did I learn? So every deal that I do, I always make it a point, even the good ones. I'll turn around and say, okay, what did I learn this time? Because in every one of them, I can learn something. And sometimes I wind up sharing those lessons with other people. So it's not just for me, it's for other people as well.
That's awesome. Fantastic. All right. Anyone else? $9:24. Let's see what's in the chat. I heard someone jingle. Joan.
Yes, I think that the point that was made is like you're the composite of the 5 people that you are surround yourself with on a consistent basis. And that's something I think to be mindful of as well. So I think the books, as well as the people that you surround yourself with, really determine your mindset and your ability to reach your goals.
Love it. All right, Liz, go ahead, call them out.
Liz cracks me up. Like pointing at some, like, no, here's the deal. All right. I don't know how much it'll be, and yet I love this conversation. I think y'all did an incredible job, and I love all the feedback and hearing from people and the self-development. And so Tom, I heard you say clarity is power, right? And love that. And yet I'm gonna add something to it, because I was talking to my coach one day and I said the same thing. I said clarity is power, and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. He said clarity plus action is power, not clarity in itself.
Oh.
So remember that going forward. There you go. There's my mic drop. It's like, thank you, Deep. So so my only point to that was, because we're all talking about all this stuff, and I think that's great. We're going to get our heads on straight. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to identify challenges and things that we need to do. Then let's take that knowledge, get into action, and that's where the power is. So, good?
Makes so much sense. So we're clear on what we want, and it's powerful to think that we have the clear path, but until the action is in place, nothing happens. And wow, yeah, so I wrote that down. I'm going to be more clear when I start talking about clarity plus the action will equal power and give power. That's so true.
Can we just have Curtis come like for a whole hour and speak one day, because he spoke for 30 seconds and that was a mic drop.
That's right. That's right.
No, you have to take grit in order to get that FaceTime with Coach Curtis.
I'm gonna have to do one-on-one coaching pretty soon.
There you go. There you go.
That link is at the bottom of every one of his emails.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting a lot of people that will come to me and go, who should I talk to? And obviously we refer them off to Coach Debbie, Curtis, and DJ. And the few people that are there, I had a lady reach out to me that's not even with our company or our group. And by the way, she only does like 40 million in production a year, just so you guys know. And she was came to me and said, somebody introduced us and said, would you coach her? And I'm like, so I spoke to her. I'm like, I'm not the right coach for you. So, I had to hand that off, and it would have been great to earn that money, but I knew it wasn't the right thing. So Curtis is making a difference, and Debbie and DJ are making a difference in people's lives. We just got to make the investment too. So we are grateful and blessed to have you guys on these calls for this time. Like Claire said, you get more time when you're in the classes, but the short period of time we get deep is absolutely priceless. So 9:28, you got 2 minutes, and then it goes to Tiffany. All right. Thanks, Liz, for calling out Curtis. Marlene, and you guys are awesome. Most times I come in 15 minutes late. Well, we're glad you get in here. All right. 9:29, 1 minute. Tiffany, it is all yours.
Thank you, Tom. Thank
Hey,
you.
Liz, she's
Curtis.
doing this. She
Thank
doesn't even
you,
know
Kevin.
who's to the left or to the right, but she's
Hey, wait a
going.
minute. Liz called out deep.
Is that who she was calling out?
Oh, she did before I cut the recording deep. What would you like to add? The floor is yours, my friend.
It was an aha moment. There was some reason I was about to miss the call this morning because my workout schedule has changed. And I skipped workout for some odd reason. And I said, I have to be in the office to be on this call. That one mic drop and the whole conversation that we had, I really needed that. It's like it really comes down to micro success. We forget that our culture, my background does the same thing. You know, it's always my philosophy has always been giving, but not receiving. So the day I start receiving and I started working on that for the last 4 years, I'm going to be a better giver first. Second, I've realized people think I'm successful, I'm sales and I'm this, but I did not feel that. 2.5 years ago, I got into a car accident, stopped doing my gym, and that was my therapy. I started that 3 weeks ago. I'm like gliding through the office, like the day goes as if I'm on the ice skating. It puts me in center. My meditation is back to normal. I do it twice a day. These are the things that gets my day going. I don't care if the storm comes, the hurricane comes, a bad contract. You just got to sit down, dissect it, look at it, and resolve it. And really enjoy the smaller wins. That's my biggest takeaway for today. Clarity and whatever Curtis said, but micro success. We always are hard on ourselves so much. I know for a fact. And I was like, oh, you have a closing. Oh yeah, I just brush it off. Yes, fucking it was a hurricane yesterday. Every title company was closed besides the client title company we were working with, and banks were closed. They had to call their bank directly and make them wires come through, and we closed. So, you know, going through those kind of, you know, small wins, you got to enjoy them. And the other thing was very powerful what Laura said. I'm not sure if she's still on the call. That was amazing of what you shared with us, how successful you are in every aspect of your life, and you felt that way. And I'm really appreciative that you did that, because I think a lot of people on this call feel they're the only one going through it because they're not having the success, that making them realize that people who are at that level as you are, and Steve is, and I am, and Liz is, and Claire is, we go to the same rut every day. It's a challenge. I think I use this phrase multiple times. Liz knows it. I put blinders on. I'm like the horse at the race. I don't want to get distracted, so I don't look right, left, center. I just focus and go, focus. And distraction comes in this business very easily. So thank you again, Tom. Friday is always I'm glad it's recorded. My best call, always Friday is my best call and a favorite day. And what you guys bring to this table is priceless.
Awesome. We appreciate you. Awesome. Anyone else? Come on, it's all yours.
I think Liz has something to say.
Liz contributed already. She already dropped bombs and nuggets verbally and in
No,
the chat.
text messages don't count, Tiff. Zip
It
it.
was in the Zoom chat and she did say things.
No,
She came
no,
off mute.
no. See, everybody's saying that. Amen. Deep. Go ahead. Let's go, Liz.
She's ignoring you.
Oh, well, look at that.
gonna
It's time to
block
cut the
you.
recording, everyone. So I'm gonna say thank you to our fantastic coaches and